Anyone among us experiencing some change in your life? Then this sermon is for you. Actually, this whole sermon series is for you. Paul spoke last week about reigniting a sense of wonder in our lives as we walk through inevitable change, whether it's because of coronavirus or life changes that become a part of our lives through aging or circumstantial change or something else that has brought unexpected change to us. We're learning together how to thrive and to grow, how to reignite, and how to live creatively and meaningfully through change and the many changes of our lives. We're using this book by Julia Cameron, It's Never Too Late to Begin Again, as our guide through this series. And today's topic is how to retain a sense of freedom during the course of a changing life. Michel de Montaigne said, "The greatest thing in the world is to know how to belong to oneself." I think during this time of quarantine, this truth has become reality for many people. For those who have trouble being alone, it has been less than fun. We all have had to learn different ways to entertain ourselves while being isolated, and it has required creativity for certain. To gain a greater sense of freedom, we need to start with small and simple steps toward exploring new ways of being. Try a cooking class, a wine tasting class, a foreign language class. Learn how to reupholster online. Update a few things in a room in your house. Start a new hobby. These kind of positive actions toward a goal or a dream can form a new sense of freedom and self-worth. And now that we're staying at home more often, even if we're going to work, help us bide a little bit more of our time. Eric and I have some friends who have truly rocked the retirement phase of their lives. And once their children were raised and before they even retired, our friend Kirk realized that he needed a new hobby to take up the time that being a dad of younger children had required. And he always had played the guitar, but when his children were graduated and had moved away from home, he took it up with a retired passion, and he started writing songs and then began performing around town. One of his earlier songs was Rock Star Wannabe, and I brought one of his recordings of that song. So I'd like you to listen a moment and pay special attention to the words of this song, Rockstar Wannabe.
I'm 51 now, don't you see? The kids have flown the nest. I'm out to start my own rock band before my final rest. A crisis of identity, a dad without a role. Rediscovered the music of my youth, an elixir for the soul. Rockstar wannabe, it's a baby boomer's dream. Rockstar wannabe, my wife's new name for me. No more PTA, no more soccer games, no more teenage broken hearts, no waiting up on Friday nights, no more silly homework fights. The silence in the house is screaming strange. No high school friends dropping in too late, your room is empty now. I needed somewhere new to go, and this emerged somehow. rock star wannabe, it's a baby boomer's dream. Rock star wannabe, my wife's new name for me. Though it drives her into a blinding rage, our bedroom is my practice stage for each and every moment I can find. But if I crank the amp past 3, tonight I'll sleep out in the street. You'd think by now the woman wouldn't mind. Rockstar wannabe, it's a baby boomer's dream. Rockstar wannabe, my wife's new name for me. Elvis, Little Richard, Chuck Berry, Jerry Lee.
Well, by the time he actually retired, Kirk was leading the church band, singing in a few restaurants around Wichita, producing his own CDs, writing lots of great music, and an advanced guitar player. His wife, Diane, retired before Kirk, and I tell her she should write the book on how to retire gracefully. Diane is an expert quilter. She's also an avid exerciser, a teacher, a grandma, a brilliant cook, and a great friend. And she's put all of her hobbies and her skills into a kind of a relaxed schedule in her retirement. Every day she sets time to meet someone for exercise. Some days it's swimming, other days it's walking. In addition, many days she has set time to meet someone for a craft. Most of the time it's sewing and quilting. In addition, she watches grandchildren, but she doesn't overdo it. I often hear her say, "Now, I don't want all the kids at one time. I'd rather have one-on-one with each of them." Or, "I prefer morning walks because it's cooler." So she's found freedom in the schedule that she sets. And that's because she spends her time according to her own values and her wishes. Now, during the stay-at-home order, many of you have taken time to clear your clutter. And that's an important part of finding freedom in our lives, because it does good emotionally and spiritually to take care of our space. As we declutter our environment, we begin to have clarity about our life's priorities. We take stock of what really matters. So clearing out our stuff and handling the things we want to keep is a concrete, active way of honoring our possessions and respecting our choices. As Julia Cameron writes, when we clear our space, we clear our minds and we clear room for new ideas. We make room for new insights. We literally clear our minds. There's space and a sense of freedom in clearing our clutter. Our traditional word for today speaks to the activities of our lives that can distract us from freedom. It's from 1 Peter chapter 2. "Beloved, I urge you as aliens and exiles to abstain from the desires of the flesh that wage war against your soul. Conduct yourselves honorably among the Gentiles, so that, though they may malign you as evildoers, they may see your honorable deeds and glorify God when he comes to judge. For the Lord's sake, accept the authority of every human institution, whether of the emperor as supreme, or of governors as sent to him to punish those who do wrong and to praise those who do right. For it is God's will that by doing right you should silence the ignorance of the foolish. As servants of God, live as free people, yet do not use your freedom as a pretext for evil. Honor, everyone. Honor everyone. Love the family of believers. Fear or respect God, and honor the emperor. In this text, the reader is told that there is a superior and unique set of Christian practices for people of faith so that they can live as exemplary people. We are to live honorably, more honorably than all the people around us. We are to find freedom in doing what is right. And this freedom includes being submissive to governing authorities. Finally, the writer says, Christians have two responsibilities: to love our Christian brothers and sisters, as well as God, and to honor the governmental authorities. He ends with, love God and honor the king. In this we will find freedom. Now, I was honored and proud to know Amira Coleman this week. Amira, if you didn't catch it on the news, was the leading voice to keep Dr. Goldman as WSU's president after he responded to issues concerning Black Lives Matter and having Ivanka Trump speak at WSU. Amira spoke eloquently about loving her African American brothers and sisters, and then she defended the president of WSU, who is a white man. At this time in our history, especially with the Black Lives Matter movement, it is a Christian imperative to love our brothers and sisters of all colors, races, creeds, and gender expressions. Our freedom and their freedom depends on it. This is logical, and more importantly, it's biblical. Unless and until everyone experiences freedom, none of us has true freedom. Two other notes about freedom from Julia Cameron's book. These points are concerning boredom and routine. She notes that boredom actually covers our fear. Boredom is a mask that we tell ourselves, what is the use? We don't want to take a risk or try something new, and we feel stuck. So instead of admitting that to ourselves, we just get bored. So we stay put, and we just do nothing. When we're bored, we tend to turn to other things to fill our time. So we become negative, or we meddle in other people's lives, or we micromanage, or other unconstructive activities to fill our void. Instead of being bored, what we need to do is make conscious decisions about using our time constructively. We all know this phenomenon in children. A bored child will stir up trouble, while a bored adult will make worse choices. But it's harder to recognize in our own lives. When we challenge boredom, we will find freedom, and it's freedom from fear and freedom from mischief. Now, even during coronavirus or retirement or summer vacation, some sort of routine is important. We know that scientists say that a consistent time of going to bed and waking up is good for us. And when we wake up, our routine may be that we drink a cup of coffee, watch or read the morning news, eat breakfast, and begin our morning routine. And then with a minimal structure in place, we may find ourselves feeling serene and secure. Then after our morning routine, we can choose some other things that serve our spirit until it's time to return to a meal or some other structured event. The spirituality of routine is pretty evident in monasteries and convents because they have bells and prayers and meals, exercise, and even relaxation. These are scheduled activities throughout the day. But surprisingly, structure is in itself freedom and reward. So these are the elements that I've named of personal freedom. And these two are available on our app, on the website, and on Facebook today. These are the elements of personal freedom that we've gone through. Exploring new things, clearing your clutter, spending time doing what is important, living honorably, loving others and God, working for and demanding freedom for everyone, honoring and obeying governmental authorities, challenging your boredom, and then observing a routine. These are the elements of personal freedom that will create a new life for you of freedom. May we all exercise and build our freedom this week and going forward so that we can reignite our lives this summer. Amen.